Welcome, football fans, to week number 7 of Henley Hornets football on mybasin.com. Tonight we come to you live from scenic Merlin, Oregon, just north of the Climate City in Grants Pass, as we look east back towards Klamath Falls, and the Henley Hornets tonight taking on the North Valley Knights, a pair of 1-1 teams in Skyline Conference play, getting ready to do battle. My name is Josh Eldridge. I'm joined by Kevin Petrick and Nick Bradford running the live stream tonight as the sun sets and the lights are on here at North Valley High School. It's a beautiful night for football, Kevin.
Yeah, we've got a good one. We've got ourselves an important game tonight. The playoff scene will kind of shake itself out tonight after this game. So both teams should be.
This season, there's 3 playoff spots in the Skyline Conference, and there are kind of 4 teams fighting for it. You got Henley and North Valley, 2 teams we see tonight, and then 2 teams playing, well, not 30 minutes south of us. Mazama and Hidden Valley doing battle as well. So a lot of playoff implications tonight. We're going to get ready for football here in just a bit, and we'll be right back with you with the mybasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports. John Bowers Construction and Landscape Maintenance is in urgent need of landscape team members now. Call them at 541-205-1464 to apply. They're also looking for a construction team lead and a landscape maintenance team lead. They offer extremely competitive wages, paid vacation, and so much more. Call John Bowers Construction at 541-205-1464 to apply today. Email johnbowerslandscape@hotmail.com. TCB number 188923. Equal Opportunity Employer.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Hi there, it's Les Schwab Tires, reminding you that changing seasons can mean changing road conditions. Introducing the brand new Backcountry AT2 for a quieter ride with improved performance in wet conditions. Because when it comes to keeping your family safe, the right tires help you feel prepared for anything. Seriously, anything. Now save up to $130 when you buy Quadtrac tires with financing. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
And we welcome you back to the mybasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports. The Henley Hornets set to do battle with the North Valley Knights this evening, a pair of 1-1 teams in Skyline Conference play. As we take a quick look now at the Skyline Conference standings, Hidden Valley atop the conference. They are 2-0, along with Mazama, also 2-0, 4-2 overall this season. Henley and North Valley tied for second place in the conference, pair of 1-1 teams. Henley's 5-1, North Valley 5-2. I'll explain why they're 5-2 in just a bit. Klamath Union and Phoenix, they're also playing tonight. A pair of 0-2 teams, both teams 0-5, so one of those 2 teams searching for their first wins this evening. And Kevin, like we said, we look around the conference. There's 3 playoff spots, 4 teams fighting for it, and all the teams that are playing tonight are tied. Hidden Valley, Mazama, both 2-0. They're playing just south of us. Obviously here tonight, a pair of 1-1 teams. And then back home, Klamath Union and Phoenix playing, both of them searching for their first win. So a big night all around in terms of how the conference is going to shake out.
Yeah, this is a pivotal weekend, and by the completion of tonight's games, we will have a good idea kind of who's in the driver's seat for which playoff spot. This conference will get 3 teams this year, so that's what we're looking at.
couple other games going on around the Klamath Basin this evening. Bonanza is visiting Lost River. Cross Point Christian able to host Glendale. Of course, tonight, Oregon and Cal going to be playing up in Eugene. We'll give you score updates throughout that one, so we appreciate you choosing us to be a part of your Friday evening. But we'll definitely be giving you score updates for the Oregon and Cal Bears game going on this evening as we take a look now at the top 10 in the state of Oregon. The top 10 coaches poll, Marshfield at the top of the list. Then you've got Estacada and Marist. Cascade falls in at number 4. Mazama ranked 5th. Banks, LeGrand, Hidden Valley, Seaside, and Tillamook. So Henley looking to crack that list and try to take sole ownership of second place in the Skyline Conference, or at least tie, I guess, rather, with either Hidden Valley or Mazama by the conclusion of this evening. North Valley last week, they played that Mazama team. Kevin, you were able to actually go out and watch that game in the Basin. North Valley held to 1 total offensive yard. They did have some positive plays, but they were driven backwards quite a bit too. What did you see from this Knights team last week?
Yeah, well, what it shows us is that Mazama's pretty good. Okay,
Definitely.
So teams struggle when they face Mazama, and if I were to pick out a strength for North Valley, I think they can throw the football if they need to. So they have a good quarterback in Jaden Twiddell. They've got a wide receiver in Brady Huff, a couple kids that can maybe stretch the defense. So the Henley defense will be challenged a little bit tonight, I think, in that way. And Henley will be looking for their speed. At the Henley team speed tonight should be the main factor of them perhaps getting a win.
Well, we're looking forward to it all as the Skyline Conference big weekend, and it starts tonight. A pair of 1-1 teams, the Henley Hornets and the North Valley Knights, are coming up on the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been away forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place home. And then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
On Top Tree Services have one of the highest buckets in town. No job too small, no tree too tall. Operating since 2017, this crew's ready for your land clearing, tree removal, tree trimming, stump grinding, and fire prevention. On Top Tree Services offers same-day estimates. I can't mention this enough. If a tree falls on your house or vehicle, they offer a 24/7 emergency tree or limb removal. Give them a call today at 541-882-8707. On Top Tree Services, fast, easy, and reliable. CCB 216014. And welcome you back to the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports. The captains meeting down on the field right now. Your captains for the Henley Hornets. Number 1, a senior, Colton Smith. Number 28, another senior, Colby Scholes. Number 34, another senior, Garrett Northcutt. And finally, the running back, another senior, Tolson Higgins. And for the North Valley Knights, number 6, the quarterback, Jaden Twiddell. Number 14, a senior, Nate Love. Number 25, Matt Sharpen, and number 63, a senior, Joey Comeyford. And as we get the handshake down there at midfield, it looks like we are just about ready for football this evening. We'll take one more quick break, and when we come back, it is time for Henley Hornets football, live from North Valley High School on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
So long.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
Welcome back to the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports. My name is Josh Eldridge. I'm joined tonight by Kevin Petrick and Nick Bradford running the live stream. Be sure you check out the free video live stream available on MyBasin.com. Got a great picture tonight of North Valley High School showing Henley tonight in their road white uniforms, the navy blue helmets with the yellow stripe down the middle. They've got navy blue numbering and lettering and yellow trim with the navy blue stripe down the pants. For the North Valley Knights, the home team tonight, maroon helmets with a yellow face mask, black tops. They've got maroon lettering and numbering with yellow trim and maroon pants. As the kick is up, Henley to kick and North Valley to receive. The kick fielded at about the 10, brought up to the 20, now trying to cut to the near side of the field, still at the 20 before finally being brought down by a gang of Hornets. In on the return for North Valley, I believe that was going to be number 14, Nate Love.
Colby Scholes and Luke Bennett in on the stop with some nice special teams play. And the Hornets defense will take the field.
Hornets defense taking the field for the first time this evening. Had a good showing last week against the Phoenix Pirates, a game in which the Hornets won 49-6, only giving up 6 points, and those points coming in the fourth and final quarter after most of the starters had already subbed out. So for all intents and purposes, Henley a perfect defensive week last week as we get set. 1st and 10 from the near hash. And it looks to be a rollout for Twiddell, the North Valley quarterback. He evades one defender, trying to cut upfield and gets back to the original line of scrimmage before being wrapped up. And maybe a gain of 1 on the play brings up 2nd down.
Nice pressure there by the Henley defense. Looked like Owen Northcutt almost had him in the backfield before the offense picked up a yard. Nice to see Owen back out there. He wasn't available last week, and he's a valuable member of that line.
Taking a look at the starters for the North Valley Knights. At quarterback, number 6, a senior Jaden Twiddell. You've also got Leo Friedman and Brady Huff out there, as well as Sam Campos, Jalen Jenkins, and Nate Love. We'll get you the line after this. 2nd and 9 for the North Valley Knights. This one's going to be handed off to Love. He tries to cut up the far side of the field and gets a gain of maybe 2 on the play. Brings up 3rd and long for the Knights.
Another short gain. Nice stop by the Hornets. Connor Sieben in on the tackle.
Starting line for North Valley, Ryan Gaskin, Luke McGregor, Landon Schallenberger, Joey Comeyford, and Owen Farmer. 10:37 remaining in a scoreless first quarter. North Valley still on their first possession of the ball game. They are facing a 3rd and 8 on their opening drive. Twiddell under center, sends a man in motion. And it is a sweep handoff coming to the near side, cutting up towards the 28, being brought out of bounds, just short of the 1st down by about 2 yards.
Owen Sheen doing a nice job getting to that sideline and pushing the runner out of bounds, a little bit short of the 1st down. Be 4th and about 2, and we'll see what North Valley decides to do.
Looks like they're bringing the punting unit out there, and this early in the game with given field position makes sense. They're at their own 30-yard line. Henley special teams was a big conversation this week at practice. Wanting to make sure you can be as perfect as you can be on special teams has been a focal point for the Hornets all season long. The punt unit out for the Knights. A little bit of a high snap, but it's kicked at the 20. Out to receive was Luke Bennett. Bounces quite a ways in front of him and stalls out at about the 40-yard line on the other side of midfield. About a 35-yard punt, and Henley will take over at their own 41-yard line.
We'll see how the North Valley defense decides to match up against Henley. Henley's been a squad of big plays this year. They make a lot of big plays, so we'll see what they do to try to stop that tonight.
The Henley offense led out there by quarterback Shaw Stork has thrown 10 touchdowns thus far on the season. And he's going to be out there with Tolson Higgins in the backfield and Colton Smith, Owen Sheen, Austin Fitz out there as wide receiving core. And the line after this 1st and 10 play. Looks to be a handoff to Tolson Higgins as he tries to plunge his way forward. Gets a nice gain on the play of about 5 yards. And it'll bring up 2nd down and about 5 to go for the Henley Hornets. The offensive line out there for Henley. It's going to be anchored by Braden Morris at center. On either side of him is Emiliano Ortiz and Noah Northcutt, Juan Manzo, and Nate Tappan out there as well. 2nd and 5 for the Hornets as they drive from left to right. Going toward the south goal here at North Valley High School. The snap to Stork, another handoff to Higgins. Cuts upfield once more. And does he get the 1st down? A gain of 5, and I believe he will.
Henley trying to establish the run game early, picking up a 1st down right there. And that's been the secret sauce all season for the Hornets, is they're able to mix it up. Establish the run, throw when you need to, and then try to score on a big play.
Henley crosses midfield after that play, so it'll be 1st and 10 from the North Valley 49. 3 wide receivers set for the Hornets, 2 to the near side, 1 to the far side. That's off to Shaw Stork's left. A play-action pass was intended for Austin Fitz. It's off the helmet of an offensive lineman, popped up and caught by Austin Fitz for a gain of about 3 yards. So lucky break there for the Hornets, and that brings up 2nd down and 7.
That was kind of a wild play. That could have gone terribly for the Hornets, but they got a good bounce. And nice effort by Austin to concentrate on that football, even though it was tipped. He made the catch and got about 5 yards.
Whenever that ball pops straight up, so does my blood pressure. I just don't know who's going to come away with the football.
That's right.
2nd and about 6 for the Hornets. Same formation coming out for Henley. Shaw Stork takes it. He's rolling to his right, feels pressure, tries to throw it downfield, and it's caught by Austin Fitz at the 20. He's dragged down just before reaching the 15, and a big gain for Henley on that play. 1st and 10.
There we see one of those big plays. Austin Fitz with a nice route coming across the middle. He had a step or two on his defender, and Shaw put it right on the button. And we're in the red zone.
About a 35-yard catch for Austin Fitz puts it 1st and 10 from the 15. 3 wide receivers set out to Stork's left. He's also got a Northcutt off to the side of him. This one a handoff to Northcutt, trying to cut up the near side. He gets inside the 10, dragged out of bounds before reaching the 5, call it the 6. And we'll see if they end up giving him the 1st down. I believe the marker was set at the 5 and he got down to the 6. So 2nd and 1 coming up.
Henley's running game very effective right now, picking up 5-6 yards a carry. And they've got a 2nd and short.
And they're actually going to give him the 1st down here after that one. So maybe he was taken out of bounds right at the 5. 3 first downs for Henley on this opening drive, and it is 1st and goal from the 5. This one, a handoff to Northcutt. He fights his way through a couple of defenders, dragged down before reaching the goal line, but a gain of 4 on the play.
Garrett with a nice run, just outside the goal line.
It'll bring up 2nd and goal from the 1 with 7.5 to go in this first period. Henley trying to get on the board first. Stork awaiting the snap. This one he tries to keep it himself, takes the lead block, and gets into the end zone for a Henley touchdown. Shaw Stork punches it in from 1 yard out for his 9th rushing touchdown of the season. Puts Henley up 6-0 with 7:12 to go in the first.
That's just what you want from an opening drive. Henley looked to be in control. And Shaw with a nice little run to finish off the drive with a touchdown.
Now waiting the extra point, Owen Sheen, about 50% on the season, kicking extra points, and he's going to try once more. 53% to be exact. Kick is going to be held by Shaw Stork. It is up, and it is through the uprights. Henley putting up 7 on their opening drive. They lead 7-0 with 7:12 to go in the first quarter. You've got the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 9 Sports. Top Tree Services, one of the highest buckets in town. No job too small, no tree too tall. Operating since 2017, this crew's ready for your land clearing, tree removal, tree trimming, stump grinding, and fire prevention. On Top Tree Services offers same-day estimates. I can't mention this enough. If a tree falls on your house or vehicle, they offer a 24/7 emergency tree or limb removal. Give them a call today at 541-882-8707. On Top Tree Services, fast, easy, and reliable. CCB 216014. Welcome back to the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports. Henley up early in this one. They punched it on their opening drive that went 6 plays, lasted just over 3 minutes, and punched it in with a Shaw Stork 1-yard rushing touchdown, his 8th of the year. That was an efficient drive for Henley opening up this game.
Yeah, and I like the pace. They kind of picked up the pace. They kept North Valley off balance and got a nice score on their opening drive. Just what you want.
North Valley will get another opportunity after this kick. It's going to roll right into the end zone. It bounced at about the 15 and continued to roll all the way into the end zone. So North Valley will take over 1st and 10 from their own 20 with 7:12 to go in the first quarter.
Henley's going to want to do what they did this last time North Valley had the ball. They got them in a 3rd and long, an uncomfortable situation, and were able to force the punt. And that's what they'll want to do again.
North Valley, they like to play action pass and they like to get the sweep going. And Henley was able to stop both of those plays. And then, like you said, that put him in an uncomfortable position, 3rd and long, able to hold tough. And play is stopped before it can begin. It'll be a timeout for the Henley Hornets. So we're going to stick with you through this one and talk a little bit more about Henley's opening drive. It was done again, Kevin, by the big play. You said you liked the pace and was able to pass it, get it through the air all the way up until the goal line, and then just rely on the ground game like Henley's done really all season.
Right. You can watch all the film that you want on Henley, but they are tough to defend. They are so quick at so many positions that, Austin got a couple steps. Austin Fitz was able to catch a pass. Then you have Garrett Northcutt come in, run the ball. Then you have Tulsa run the ball. Then you have Shaw Stork scoring. So a lot of weapons for Henley. And if you can't find a way to blanket all those players, you may give up some points.
North Valley's offense getting ready to go back out onto the field. A 3-and-out for them last time. And a team that struggled on offense last week. But you look at their season, they're 5-2 overall, and they have not played 7 games in 6 weeks. As a matter of fact, a couple weeks ago, we're scheduled to play Klamath Union. Klamath Union ended up having to forfeit that game, so North Valley rescheduled the game with Cresswell, got that win. So North Valley credited for 2 wins a couple of weeks ago. That's how they get their record of 5-2. 1st and 10 for the Knights from the 20, sending a man in motion, and this one is a handoff coming up the middle and brought down after a gain of 1 yard. In on the carry for the Knights on that one, I believe, was Campos.
Colby Scholes with a tackle after another short game. And Henley's doing a nice job against the run so far.
Clock continues to run, just under 7 minutes now in the first quarter. The Hornets still up 7-0.
The pace is quite noticeable here. Henley was a little more quick to get the play off, try to keep the defense off balance. North Valley's taking their time. They're using all the clock, huddling up. They're in no hurry.
Yeah, definitely no hurry. 2nd and about 9 to go for the Knights. And it looked like the official was in there in that sort of timeout as well. So, the clock was not running in that exact situation. It'll be a handoff up the middle. Kind of a misdirection play. Henley's defense was not fooled. No gain on the play brings up another 3rd and long for North Valley. 2nd time they've had to face it tonight. So far 0 for 1 on 3rd down conversions.
Matthew McCoy at the bottom of the pile for the Hornets. And they are doing a number on the run.
And again, we mentioned at North Valley they like to air it out, but really have only tried to pass the ball once so far this evening, so trying to establish the run hasn't worked so far for them, so you wonder how long it's going to take for North Valley to try to air it out a couple of times.
Right, well, we'll probably see here with a 3rd and long.
2 wide receivers set near and a couple of tight ends to the far side as Twiddell steps back to pass. Dumps it off near side. The pass is caught by Wyatt Hawley, but he is wrapped up quickly and for a loss on the play. That'll bring up 4th and 11. There's a flag down to the near side. We'll see what the call ends up being. It's right about where the tackle was made.
Colby Scholes and Benny Scott out there in the flat to make the tackle. I will sort out the flag here.
And it's going to be personal foul against the Hornets. Unsure what was the personal foul for.
I didn't see if the hit was a little bit late or not, but it will add 15 yards and a first down for the Knights.
That'll be the first down of the evening for the Knights. Also, their first 3rd down conversion. Still, a good read on the play for the Hornets, regardless of the penalty flag. So 1st and 10 from the 35. This one, another handoff to Hawley. He gets hit at the line of scrimmage, falls forward for about a yard on the play, so that brings up 2nd down for the Knights.
Tolson Higgins in pursuit, and he made the tackle. Another short gain on 1st down.
5.5 to go in the first quarter. Henley is up 7-0, and Kevin, we're here at North Valley High School, kind of lifted up above the stands. We're kind of away from everyone, so there are people in attendance, although that sound may not come across on the radio. Still a pretty good crowd turnout here at North Valley High School. 2nd and about 8 to go for the Knights. This one, Twiddell takes back, tries to dump it off to the near side. The pass is caught for a gain of about 8 yards on the play. And on the reception for the Knights was Sharpen. And that'll be good enough for a North Valley first down.
Owen Sheen was tested on the near side that time. And that's kind of what I expected to see from North Valley, a little bit more of that. A little bit more short passing and then run after the catch.
North Valley, they like to throw to the flats. They like to run the flood play. And they like to throw it short. They have success in the passing game due to a lot of short passing. You will see them air it out from time to time. 1st and 10 from the North Valley 45. This one is a handoff going to the far side to Hawley. He is wrapped up and brought down in the backfield. 2nd and long coming up for the Knights.
There's that quickness we were talking about. Henley was just able to pursue, and they just can't get downfield on that running play. Loss of a couple.
Brings up 2nd down and long, and again, exactly like you said, Kevin, Henley able to figure out the running game for North Valley. They've gotten into the backfield more often than not, and North Valley going to be forced to pass here, which I think probably is part of the game plan for Henley. Try to make North Valley beat you through the air.
Sure, that's always the plan. Try to get them in an uncomfortable spot, maybe get a turnover.
Twiddell sends a man in motion. The sweep handoff is actually an option keeper for Twiddell. He keeps it and drives forward back to the original line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of 2 on the play, brings up 3rd and 10.
Colby Scholes, Matthew McCoy teaming up on that tackle.
So brings up another 3rd and long for North Valley so far on 3rd down tonight. The Knights are 1 for 2 on 3rd down conversions. Last time, though, the penalty flag did bail them out a little bit. So now a true test on 3rd down. 1 wide receiver set out wide, make that 2 to the far side of the field for Twiddell. That's off to his right. He's also got a running back to his right side. Sends a man in motion. Twiddell takes a snap, rolls to his right, feels a little bit of pressure, evades 1 defender, and is now in a group of bodies before being brought down. He got back to the original line of scrimmage, but that brings up 4th for the Knights.
Nice defense by the Hornets. Twiddell had time. He had time to throw, but downfield, the DB's in nice coverage. And then Tolson Higgins ends up with the tackle. Another punting situation.
Definitely still on your own side of midfield. The Knights on their own 45. Luke Bennett will be back to receive with 2:41 to go in the first quarter. And you can't see it on the video feed right now, but I mentioned the folks here in support of North Valley, but Henley's student section, rather the parents, not so much the students, but traveling pretty well for this one.
Yeah, Henley always has a good following.
The punt, the snap is high. It's fielded at the 20 and having to carry it himself. And the punt is blocked as he tried to do it again at the 35. And the blocked punt will go out of bounds, and we'll see where they mark it for Henley to take over. I believe it's going to be marked at the North Valley 30, so Henley with excellent field position to start their second drive.
That was a crazy play, and hats off to Benny Scott for just keeping the focus on the punter. He ended up blocking that kick, and he puts Henley in great position to score again, just outside the 30.
The high snap, and the punter having to go back and find the football, tried to get the punt off late, unable to do so. It was blocked, just as you said, by Benny Scott. And Henley with great field position, their second drive of the game, actually taking it from the North Valley 31-yard line, deep into Knights territory, 1st and 10. A man in motion, that is Smith. He takes the handoff, coming to the near side. He finds some room at the 25, that's Luke Bennett on the carry. He cuts upfield for about 10 yards on the play. Gets to the 20. That should be good for a Hornets first down.
Coach Pashy mixing it up a little bit. I like that.
Haven't seen the sweep too many times this season.
Yeah, nice sweep. Luke made a nice run, just enough for a first.
So it's going to be Luke Bennett and Owen Sheen out there on the far side. Coming to the near side is Colton Smith, the wide receiver, and also Austin Fitz. Shaw Stork back there with Tolson Higgins. 1st and 10 from the North Valley Knights 20-yard line. Smith goes into motion. Stork drops back to pass, doesn't see anyone, is going to roll out to his left, feels the pressure, trying to cut to the far sideline before going upfield. He has a little bit of room, but goes out of bounds back at the line of scrimmage. So 2nd and 10 coming up for the Hornets.
How many times have we seen that where Shaw faces pressure? Most quarterbacks in that situation might lose 5, 7, 10 yards. He's able to escape, and that was just a great play to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Exactly. Four Knights by my count in the backfield chasing him, and he doesn't lose a yard on the play.
He makes good decisions, and he is fast.
Smith once again set up to the near side with Fitz, Owen Sheen, and Luke Bennett to the far side. 4 wide receivers set for the Hornets and a back in the backfield with Shaw Stork. Takes it 2nd and 10. Stork rolling to his right. That's the near side. Going for the end zone. He's got Austin Fitz wide open, but overthrows him just a little bit, and that will fall incomplete. 3rd down coming up for Henley.
That play was drawn up just right, similar to the big gain earlier in the game where Austin ran a little post route across the middle of the field. He was open in the end zone, just out of his reach.
Just out his fingertips. And Austin Fitz, he's made that catch once this season. I'm sure he's shaking his head a little bit, but still another opportunity. You get wide open like that. That's a positive from that play. Austin Fitz had his own zip code out there. So 3rd and 10 from the 20. Same set coming out for the Hornets. 4 wide receivers and Higgins in the backfield. 1:30 to go in the first quarter, a game in which the Hornets lead 7-0. Stork takes the snap, drops back, fires it over the middle, once again intended for Fitz, but just a little bit too much mustard on that pass, blows right past Fitz, and that brings up 4th.
That time Fitz was on the opposite side of the field and kind of found the seam down the middle, and he was open again. So that's something Henley will be looking for the rest of this game.
He's gotten himself open quite a bit. Now it's just a matter of Stork trying to hit him. Stork just over 53% on his passes this season. And they're going to go for it. 4th and 10 from the 20. Aggressive play early by Coach Alex Stork. Takes a snap. Shaw coming to the near side, feels some pressure, tries to get himself upfield, sheds past one defender, cuts back to the other side of the field. He's up inside the 10, inside the 5, and he gets into the end zone for a Henley touchdown. His 2nd rushing touchdown of the season, his 10th of the season, his 2nd of the game, and that puts Henley up 13-0.
That was an excellent carry by Shaw. He saw that he had defenders in front of him. He had to actually go between 2 or 3, but he was confident. He knew where he wanted to go. He made that cut to the far sideline, and he scored with ease. Well done.
His 10th rushing touchdown of the season. That matches his passing total. Now Owen Sheen on to kick the extra point. He's already done it once tonight. Stork holds the kick still, and it's blocked by the Knights. Coming in, making that block for North Valley, Ryland Fox, the junior, 5'10", broke through the line, blocked the kick. 13-0 is our score. Henley punching it in, a 30-yard drive, lasted 5 plays, and Shaw Stork saving the day on a 4th down conversion that went for 20 yards and the touchdown.
Henley's game plan was good coming in, and they've been able to execute it almost perfectly, missing the extra point there, but scoring 2 touchdowns in the first quarter, that's exactly what you want to do. And we're just over a minute left to play here in the first quarter.
So North Valley, they're going to get the ball back. They put together a decent drive last time they had the football, stalled out about midfield, but there are some things that North Valley saw that maybe they'll try to repeat this drive. It's now up to Henley to adjust.
Yeah, North Valley needs to go back and see what works, just like any team would do. I have a feeling we'll see maybe a little bit more of that short passing game from them. They trail by a couple touchdowns now.
Back to receive for North Valley, standing at about the 10-yard line. I believe that's going to be Wyatt Hawley back there once more. He's been their returner and good running back so far. He's found himself in a little bit of space, but unable to really get too much working for him so far. He'll be back to return. The kick from Henley is up. That's a boom of a kick. Bounces at about the 7-yard line, and it's fielded at the 5. Bringing it up past the 10, trying to find his way upfield, and he's got some daylight up past the 30 before being wrestled down before reaching the 35, and Owen Sheen was the last guy standing between Hawley and a touchdown.
Now, we haven't talked about it yet this year, but it's nice to have a kicker who is a good open field tackler with Owen. He's done that a few times. If that runner can get past that first onslaught of defenders, he could have scored a touchdown. But Owen's pretty good about making sure as a safety valve that no one gets by him, and a strong tackle there.
Just over a minute, 1 minute and 1 second left to go in a first quarter in which Henley leads 13-0. You've got the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Knights from their own 34-yard line. A man in motion for Twiddell, but it's a keeper for him. He bounces out to the far side, has himself a little bit of room. He's dragged out of bounds. Call it a gain of about 4 yards on the play, maybe 5. Brings up 2nd down for the Knights.
Not a bad pickup. Colton Smith and Connor Sieben on the stop. Picked up about 4.
Solid gain on 1st. And the Knights facing 2nd and about 6.
And that's what they want to do. They want to try to, they've had trouble on 1st down. They want to try to get some more yardage to put themselves in better situations.
Twiddell going to take this one from under center. One wide receiver to the near side and a couple of backs. This one, another handoff to Hawley. He's able to get around to the outside, and he's tripped up before reaching the sticks. 3rd and short coming up.
Owen Northcutt, part of the group over there. And here we have a 3rd down. A little bit shorter this time.
So far for North Valley tonight, 1 for 3 on 3rd down conversions. And same set coming out for the Knights. 1 wide receiver to the near side. And you're probably going to have 2 backs in the backfield once again, similar to what Mazama did against Henley, where you have a kind of a stacked backfield, although this time the Knights packing up the line of scrimmage. Just 1 back there. Hawley sent in motion. This one an inside handoff to the fullback, but wrapped up immediately. Didn't get anywhere, and that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter. North Valley will face 4th down when we come back. Right now, Henley up over the Knights 13-0 on the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 9 Sports.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
And welcome you back to the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports. More Henley Hornets football. They're up right now 13-0 over the North Valley Knights, forcing the Knights in a fourth down and long. The Hornets have been able to stuff the inside run and the outside run. North Valley has had a little bit of success through the air, but so far the Hornets have made their case. They are not letting a run break loose tonight.
How about that defensive stand right there just before the quarter ended? It was 3rd and about 1, and they turned that play into about a 7-yard loss. So nicely done by the Hornets. And I'm guessing we'll see a punt. The officials are trying to figure out something down there.
Unsure of what it might be. I'd like to remind you that this broadcast is brought to you in part by Les Schwab Tires. You know, if you plan on making any trips as the colder weather comes in, might see some snow on Sunday in the Basin. If you plan on making any trips, you're going to want to get that free pre-trip safety check that Les Schwab Tires offers. You go on in there, they'll check out your vehicle for free. They'll tell you anything that's wrong. Les Schwab Tires has got 3 locations in the Klamath Basin, one on South 6th Street, one on Washburn Way. They've got one out in Merrill too. Les Schwab Tires, they've been doing the right thing since 1952. Unsure really what the officials are talking about, but both teams are out onto the field.
Well, they're looking at the spot, because I was even surprised that he lost that many yards on that carry on 3rd down.
So, for those of you listening right now, the 4th down marker is about 7 yards behind where the ball is placed. And, I mean, they're moving it up 6 yards.
They're moving his forward progress on that last carry.
So forward progress, meaning he was stopped basically at the line of scrimmage and driven backwards. So it is going to be 4th down, but 4th down and very short, about a football's length away from the 1st down. So North Valley is going to go for it on 4th. The yard to gain, the 45. They take it from the 44, and the ball is snapped. The jumble of bodies, and it looks like a push forward for a gain of 2. And that should be a 1st down for the Knights.
High school teams are doing that now. Since that was made legal, you can actually push the ball carrier. It didn't always used to be legal, but now that's a pretty good way to pick up a 1st down on a short yardage situation. Just snap it to the quarterback and just get everybody to just push the runner, and that was just enough for a 1st.
Got about an extra yard on that 4th down conversion. North Valley 1 for 1 on those conversions now tonight. And the Knights take it 1st and 10 from their own 45. Sending a man in motion is Twiddell, although this is a play-action pass. Twiddell rolling out to the far side, and he is taken down in the backfield, and a sack for the Henley Hornets.
Oh, Colby Scholes showing his speed out there. Just got enough of that shoelace to trip him up. Big loss.
And he kind of showed up out of nowhere, too. He didn't really chase Twiddell for so long. He just was there.
Yeah, he comes from that linebacker position, so he was definitely moving through that line.
2nd and about 17. Well, they're going to call it 2nd and 20, so a loss of 10 on the play for Twiddell. The first big loss of the game for the Knights. And we'll see what they come out with here. It's going to be up to Henley's defense to try to keep him behind the sticks once more. Twiddell, he's got 2 wide receivers to his left, one to the near side to the right. He takes a snap, rolls right. He's looking downfield, fires the pass, and it is incomplete over the middle.
Tyler Harper on the coverage. Henley that time did something a little different. They only rushed 3, and they brought a lot of their defensive backs back for coverage, and they did a nice job. Harper knocked that one down.
Twiddell, I will say, he put some heat on that football. That got there quick.
Oh, yeah, you can tell he can throw.
3rd down and 20 coming up for North Valley so far on the evening for them. 1 for 4 on 3rd down conversions. 10:45 to go in the 2nd quarter, a game in which Henley leads 13-0.
Right here is where you want to keep the receivers in front of you and know where that 1st down marker is.
Got 5 defensive backs out there for Henley. as they drop back. Twiddell tries to throw it over the middle, and the pass is intercepted at the 45-yard line. Bring it up past midfield and now to the 40 before finally being brought down. Luke Bennett making the pick and giving Henley possession with 10:34 to go in the second.
Coach Stork calling up a little blitz there. Tolson Higgins shot through the line, made Twiddell hurry a little bit, and Luke Bennett was there for the interception. Another turnover for the Hornets defense this year.
Luke Bennett's first interception of the season, and it'll be 1st and 10 Henley from the 40. Great starting field position again. Last time the Hornets started at the 30. Stork has got one wide receiver to the near side, 2 over to the far side, and he's also got Tolson Higgins back behind him. It is an option keeper for Stork as he bounces around to the outside. He cuts upfield, gets to the 35, and now inside the 30. He's got a defender on his back who he drags for another 7 yards. Brought down before reaching the 20, call it the 22-yard line. First down for the Hornets.
When a running back has success, they start to feel invincible, and you can just tell with the confident running of Shaw there, he's going to be hard to bring down tonight.
Henley 1st and 10 from the 22-yard line, driving downfield as they go from right to left. A flag is thrown before the start of the play, and they get North Valley to jump on the hard count. Saw Henley players clapping, so
that'll help out the Hornets a little bit. 1st and 5.
And that is encroachment on the defense. Yes, 1st and 5 coming up. And that does make things a little bit easier. Although this field position might not change too much in terms of a play call. Trips it up to the near side for the Hornets. This one is going to be a handoff to Tolson Higgins, who plunges forward. A gain of about 4 on the play. Might have been just short of the sticks. Brings up 2nd down.
It's a good carry for Tolson on 1st down. Henley is going to want to finish their drives. Once they get in that red zone, they want to get a touchdown.
2nd and 2 for Henley.
2nd and 2 for the Hornets. 9:43 to go in the second quarter. The Hornets lead 13-0. Trying to extend that lead right now. Stork takes the snap, is going to roll to his right side, cuts upfield, finds himself a gap, gets inside the 10. He is stopped before getting to the 5, and a flag is thrown before the play is called dead. Stork found himself a hole, but we'll see if this one's coming back.
That was a nice inside run with traffic. He's pretty good at dodging defenders, but it will come back.
Going against the Hornets, a holding call. That'll put them just behind the sticks, though. 2nd and 12 coming up for Henley after that holding call. So still, all things considered, could be worse outcomes. 2nd and long.
Just want to try to keep your mistakes to a minimum.
Colton Smith to the near side, as is Owen Sheen. Stork sends Bennett in motion. He's now on the right side of the field. And another flag is thrown in front of the Henley sideline. And we'll see what the call is here once more.
Coach Stork may have wanted to get a timeout before that penalty.
And you think it might have been delay a game where Stork tried to stop the clock, maybe?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think that Henley got the timeout and not the penalty.
Well, if that's the case, Henley's used up their 2nd timeout of the half. We're going to stick with you through this one. Henley has had a little bit of trouble moving the ball on this drive specifically. The North Valley defense has stopped Shaw Stork once. Gave him a gain of about 5 yards, but Stork was able to find that hole. And the one word I use to describe Shaw is he's kind of bouncy. Like, he bounces around the outside. He can cut inside, but I see him, and he just bounces off his lineman and gets outside, and that's what he is. That's how I describe him.
Yeah, he is, and you don't see that in a lot of quarterbacks. So it makes him unique in that way, and it makes him quite a threat offensively. And teams are having trouble stopping him, without a doubt.
The number 1 rusher on his team, and the Players back out there on the field. It'll be 2nd and long. Call it 2nd and 13. Kind of a bunch set on the near side for Henley. Snap, Stork takes it direct, rolls out to his left side, finds himself a little bit of room, stutter steps and cuts through the line, gets inside the 10 and in for a Henley touchdown. Shaw Stork, 3 rushing touchdowns in the opening half. Puts Henley up 19-0.
Nice work by the offensive line, maintaining their blocks downfield. When you have that many bodies downfield blocking, it's not going to be hard at all for Shaw to find a path to the end zone. Another fine run, another touchdown.
Owen Sheen on to kick the extra point once again. Last time the extra point attempt was blocked, and Colton Smith to hold it still this time around. The kick is up, and it splits the uprights. It is good. The Henley Hornets up 20-0 with 9 minutes flat to go in the second. You've got the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial.
And we welcome you back to the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports. I'm Josh Eldridge, joined by Kevin Petrick and Nick Bradford running the live stream this evening. Henley, the Hornets, are up 20-0 over the North Valley Knights. That last scoring drive for Henley. It was 4 plays, lasted 1 minute 34 seconds, capped it off with a Shaw Stork 25-yard rushing touchdown. That's his 3rd of the night, and he's having himself a ball game here in this first half.
Yeah, he is. And the Henley offense is really humming right now. They're in control. And of all the games we've seen this season, this is probably the most in control I've seen the offense. They're just really calm. They just execute. They're running their plays the way they want. And they've been very successful.
The kick is up. Kind of a line drive that time. Going to be fielded out by the 15-yard line. Brought up past the 20. And got just short of the 25-yard line. Call it the 24. They might give him the 25. Tough to tell so far. Regardless, North Valley taking over with 8:54 to go in the half.
Benny Scott with another special teams play. He does a nice job in there.
Had that blocked punt earlier, blocked field goal earlier in the season. He's one of those guys you love to have on special teams, which is just as important as offense or defense in the scheme of football.
Absolutely. You want to win all aspects of the game, and special teams very important.
1st and 10 from the 25 for the Knights. Last time they were out, drive lasted 6 plays, but stalled out about midfield. 1st and 10, Twiddell, quick pass and getting in there to block it.
Looked like Austin Fitz, maybe.
Yeah, I believe that was Austin Fitz playing a line of scrimmage, kind of left end there, throws his hands up and deflects the pass.
He came off of the edge on the near side and did a nice job just getting his big hand up there.
Twiddell had success in the first quarter through the air, a couple of short passes that turned into decent gains, although here in the second quarter, Henley has had some success defending the pass. That's 3 straight incompletions for Twiddell, brings up 2nd and 10. Twiddell drops back. This is going to be a handoff to Hawley, who is wrapped up and brought down, maybe 1 yard on the play. Brings up 3rd for North Valley.
Tolson Higgins making the stop there, and there's a little bit of a tussle in there. He's gonna go off and cool off a little bit. But
Only the right decision.
Yep, a good stop nonetheless. 3rd and long.
And the officials having a conversation at the football. Looks like all is solved down there. There's a Henley defense ready to go, and the North Valley Knights offense looks to be set. It'll be 3rd and 8 for the Knights.
For the North Valley Knights.
3rd and 9, rather. Twiddell under center. Sends a man in motion. This one, a play-action pass. Twiddell rolling to his left, fires downfield and hits the hands of his receiver, but it falls incomplete. The pass intended for Matt Sharpin, the senior, and couldn't keep his hands on it. Falls incomplete. 4th down coming up for the Knights.
Chris Janney on the coverage, and that was a pretty well drawn up play by North Valley. Twiddell had plenty of time as he rolled to the near side, and his receiver was open by about a step or so, but it fell to the turf, and we'll see a punt.
Punting unit comes out once more. And we have a quick score update for you from Eugene as the Oregon Ducks up on Cal. 3-0 with 10:42 to go in the first quarter there.
North Valley wants to talk about this one. 4th and 9, and they're going to call a timeout.
So with that timeout, the Henley Hornets lead 20-0 here in the second quarter, about 7:56 away from halftime tonight. When we get to halftime, be sure to stick with us. We'll do our best to give you score updates from around the area, and of course the game that everyone's paying attention to, Kevin. It's happening just south of us on the other side of the Climate City in Grants Pass. Hidden Valley hosting the Mazama Vikings. Hidden Valley, a pretty decent team. I mean, I had looked at that game a little bit before. In the past 2 games, I'll give you a stat. Mazama has outscored their opponents. I believe the number was like 84-13 in the past 2 games. Hidden Valley has done it 84-0 in the past 2 games. So 2 very good squads. Is just the past couple Skyline Conference games. We know these opponents, and both those teams look real good.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how that turns out, because you have a couple of top 10 teams there, and it'll make a big difference to see who leads up the Skyline.
4th and 9, and North Valley going to punt it. A bit of a high snap, but taken at the 10. A good punt. Bounces out around the 40. Now the 35 before stalling out at about the 31-yard line. A great punt for North Valley. But Henley starts with okay field position at the 31-yard line. Still a ways to go, but not pinned inside the 20.
Good job by North Valley after having a little bit of trouble with the last punt. Pulled off a very nice kick there and got some good field position out of it.
Last drive for the Hornets, as with every other drive so far tonight, ending in 6. It is a 4-play drive, lasted about a minute and 34 seconds. This time, Hornets looking for similar fortunes. 1st and 10 from the 31. Hornets driving from right to left. Stork takes the snap and a misdirection to Tolson Higgins, who finds himself some room. He's up past the 40 now, midfield. On the other side of midfield, he's up to the 30, and he has got nothing but room. Tolson Higgins takes it to the house for a Henley touchdown.
Another big play for the Hornets. Owen Sheen with one last block downfield to spring Tolson. And Tolson's feeling a little better than he was a couple of minutes ago.
Without a doubt, after scoring a 69-yard touchdown on the opening play of a drive, puts him up 26-0.
Another nice play by the Hornets. You just don't know what's coming. You just don't know what the next play is going to be. They're able to mix it up that well.
Owen Sheen on to kick the extra point once more. North Valley almost getting in there to block it, but the kick is up. And it is good. The Henley Hornets up 27-0. We're in the second quarter. 7.5 minutes left to go in the quarter. And this game, bearing resemblance to last week against Phoenix, the Hornets are humming on all levels right now.
Yeah, if you can't solve their offense, Henley will score. And they've proven that again in this first half with 27 points already on the board. And you shouldn't take for granted the Hornets are a pretty good road team this year. I think they played well on the road. They don't seem to get shaken by being in a different city or having to drive or change locations at the last minute. And that's a good, especially when the playoffs are coming, that's a good skill to have.
Without a doubt. Right now, Henley undefeated on the road this season. And like you said, last-minute changes. Tonight was fairly easy. This one was on the schedule. But when the smoke was a factor back at home, we played in Willamette High School. We played over at U.S. Cellular Fields. We were kind of all over the place before the smoke kind of cleared out of the basin. We were able to get the games in. But this Hornets team has performed well on the road, and they've had to.
Just one more good quality that you want to take with you as you get to the playoffs.
Owen Sheen to kick things off for the Hornets. The kick is up. Fielded at about the 13-yard line. Brought up past the 25 and out to the 30. Maybe just short of the 30. Call it the 28-yard line. And that is where North Valley will start this drive.
Benny Scott, once again, part of the crew bringing down the ball carrier for the Hornets.
North Valley, key here, I think, for the offense. Obviously, you'd like points, but try to give your defense just a little bit of a break. Keep them off the field, get a couple first downs here, and might be able to give your defense just a little bit of rest. Of course, you'd like to end in points, but the offense also has a job to do otherwise.
You can see that they're close. North Valley's had a few chances. They've just got to make that connection between their quarterback and their receivers.
1st and 10 from the 28. Twiddell takes the snap, is going to hand it off to the near side, and having a little bit of room, a gain of 8 on the play for the Knights. 2nd down, and a good positive play for North Valley.
Tyler Harper had to come up from his safety spot to make the tackle. So a good little gainer on 1st down for the Knights.
2nd and about 3 yards to go. So far for North Valley this evening, just 2 first downs, looking to get their 3rd. And a successful running play on that one. See if North Valley looks to recreate it. One wide receiver set out to the left of Twiddell. He's under center. Sends a man in motion. This one, a handoff up the middle and fighting forward. A gain of about 7 yards on the play for the Knights, and that's good for a 1st down.
Noise, ladies and gentlemen. 1st down, North Valley.
Connor Sieben made a nice tackle there, but it is enough for a 1st down.
Leo Friedman on the carry there. Friedman, a sophomore. And the thing about this North Valley team is a lot of these guys now, you know, there's a lot of juniors on this roster, but they were all playing varsity when they were freshmen. So a lot of varsity experience on this North Valley roster. They know how to get the job done. 1st and 10 from the 40. This one, a handoff coming to the near side, fighting through some blocks and falling forward. A gain of about 7 yards on the play. And a decent carry for the Knights brings up 2nd down.
Colby Scholes and Colton Smith on the tackle. And that was a nice play by the Knights. That's the first time we've seen they had 2 or 3 blockers out in front, and that's what you want. They had a lot of bodies out there, and it worked out for a pretty good gain.
It's Hank Dumas on the carry, another one of those guys who's been on varsity since he's a freshman. A lot of these names, you know, I've seen for the past 4 years, seeing the Knights and trying to put it together in some of their junior and senior seasons. 2nd and 5, Twiddell takes the snap, play action pass. He's rolling out to his left, tries to fire it over the middle. The pass incomplete once again. Intended target is going to be Brady Huff, but just hits his hands, bounces off again. 3rd and 5.
I think he and Huff normally would connect on that pass. Just a little bit of bad luck there. The ball was thrown a little bit behind Huff. And we have a 3rd down, about 5.
So far this evening for North Valley, 1 for 5 on 3rd down conversions. Their one conversion coming earlier in the 1st quarter. 5.5 to go in the 2nd. A game which Henley leads 27-0. Appreciate you being with us tonight on the MyBasin.com Game of the Week.
Yeah, Henley's done a nice job getting off the field on 3rd down. We'll see if they can do it again.
3rd down and 5. North Valley from the near hash. Twiddell under center. Puts a man in motion and a stoppage of play just before the snap. Looking for flags. We'll see what the call is. Delay a game against the Knights.
That's a tough one for them. Turns a 3rd and 5 into a 3rd and 10. They kind of had things going. And now they've got a 3rd and long.
Changes the play call, I'm sure, for North Valley. They've had success on the ground in this drive, which is different than what has worked for the Knights so far. They've been able to run the ball to pass about 3 plays, 1 incomplete pass on this drive, but 3 positive running plays. We'll see what the Knights turn to here on 3rd and 10. Two wide receivers to the left.
3rd and 10 for the North Valley Knights.
Twiddell sending a man in motion. Rolls out to his left. Feels a little bit of pressure. Tries to throw it, and the pass intercepted. If he caught it, did the ground help him? That's the question I think the officials are trying to answer, and they're saying he intercepted it on the far sideline.
That was Owen Sheen. Nice coverage on the far side, and a nice grab as well. Once again, it was that same little blitz. They sent Tolston Higgins right through the line, and he pressured Twiddell just enough to force a bad throw, and Owen Sheen with the interception.
And the officials are going to have a conversation about it. Owen Sheen, I think he intercepted the football, but Coach Neil DeForest, North Valley, has something to say about it, and that's fair. It was a very close play.
The official over there seemed pretty sure of himself. I don't think they will reverse it.
And they won't. We get the official signal, and that will be Henley ball. So a great interception by Owen Sheen. That's the second interception thrown by Twiddell thus far. And Henley will take over in North Valley territory at about the 47-yard line.
Hornets defense becoming pretty efficient with intercepting the football this year. They've got a load.
And we will still having this conversation with the officials. The North Valley defense comes out onto the field. Looks like they were keeping their offense out there as long as they could before they figured out for sure, all right, it is a turnover. Get the defense out there. It'll be 1st and 10 for Henley from the 47-yard line.
After the interception, Henley takes the field at the 47-yard line.
1st and 10 for Henley. They take it over, 5:12 to go in the second. Two wide receivers to the near side and two to the far side, and running back off to the right of Stork. This one, play action pass. Stork looks to his right, sees left, has to dance to his left, does a little spin. He's in the backfield trying to get back to the line of scrimmage and runs out of bounds for a loss on the play. Well, he might have got back to the original line of scrimmage. Could be a loss of one. Regardless, 2nd down.
You could call that a coverage sack. Some fine play in the defensive backfield for North Valley. Shaw couldn't find anybody to throw to. And just about no gain on that play.
2nd down and 10 for the Hornets. Owen Sheen coming out to the near side as the lone wide receiver. Stork back there with Higgins. Colton Smith and Owen Sheen on the far side. Stork takes the snap, hands it off to Higgins, who blasts through the line, and a gain of 11 on the play. Good enough for a Hornets 1st down.
That's what happens when you run a variety of plays. They go outside to the far side, then to the near side, then they throw, and then you get the old-fashioned just off tackle, and it works for 11. So that's just what you want if you're calling offense the way Coach Pesci has done tonight.
1st and 10 from the 35. Hornets driving downfield toward the north. Stork takes the snap, keeps it himself, bounces around a couple of defenders, gets around one, but brought down by the second man he faces. And no gain on the play, but also no loss. Stork does a great job of getting back to the line of scrimmage. You don't see him go backwards too often.
That was pretty good defense that time. They were able to actually rein in Stork and keep him from breaking downfield. Short gain.
Same set coming out for the Hornets. One to the left and two to the right of Stork. Also Higgins. Stork takes the snap, drops back to pass, looks over the middle, and the pass is caught over the middle. And is that Owen Sheen on the catch?
That's Colby Schills, it looks
Schills.
like. There is a flag here on the near side.
And we'll find out what the play is. Still a nice catch from Colby Schills, kind of sold out to catch that one. Diving forward a little bit.
Jalen Jenkins was going one-on-one with Owen Sheen on the near side, and there's a lot of pushing going on down there. We may have pass interference away from the football.
And awaiting the official call. This game also brought to you by John Bowers Construction. Be sure to check them out on Facebook. They are hiring. They've got some great benefits as well, competitive wages. They'll give you all kinds of things. So check them out on Facebook, John Bowers Construction.
Colby Scholes had a nice grab across the middle. Shaw made a nice throw, too.
So defensive holding against the Knights. So bring it forward. Now, defensive holding on a play like that away from the football.
I think they'll just take the play.
I would imagine they would take the play as well.
But they'll give them the option.
It would have been about a 15-yard gain on the catch by Scholes. So they snapped it from the 35. So the penalty is declined, so they're going to take the play, the completed pass to Scholes over the middle. And a good catch by Colby again. He had to roll into it a little bit. He was covered fairly well. Stork snuck it in there, and 1st and 10.
The Hornets can look for those man-to-man coverages. If they can get one-on-one on the outside, they could probably throw over for a long gain.
1st and 10 from the 18. Stork going to hand it off to Higgins once more. He gets wrapped up quickly and brought down. Does get back to the line of scrimmage, though, so 2nd and 10.
Another nice job covering the run. North Valley's had a couple stops on this drive.
2nd and 10 for the Hornets. Owen Sheen set out to the far side with Colby Scholes and Smith. Colton Smith to the near side with Austin Fitz. 4 wide receiver set for the Hornets. And even with 4 wide receivers, this set has come out. Stork has been the beneficiary of a lot of open field as these guys run downfield. So we'll see if Stork, what he decides to do. He's got time to make a decision. He sends Colton Smith in motion from the left to the right side. This one, a quick pass to Colton Smith, and it is incomplete on the far sideline. They tried to get the quick pass off to him. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Just mistimed that a little bit. Colton went in motion, and the idea was to get him the ball as he was moving to the far side of the field. Throw just a little bit too far downfield, and it brings up a 3rd down.
3rd and 10. Hornets so far tonight on 3rd down. They are 0 for 1. Haven't had to face 3rd down too often tonight. Stork takes the snap. Looks left, is trying to find Owen Sheen downfield, and Owen just lets the ball slip out of his hands. He had it right there in the end zone, but the pass falls incomplete, brings up 4th for the Hornets. We saw Henley go for it on 4th down in similar field position earlier. As a matter of fact, the exact same field position from just about the 20 and 4th down, and I assume they're going to keep the team out there once more.
We talked about it just a second ago, that one-on-one coverage on the outside, and the coaching staff saw a chance and almost converted that.
4th and 10, Hornets going for it. Had a good play drawn up there. We'll see what they drop on 4th and 10. Stork takes a snap, rolling to his right, feeling pressure, fires it into the end zone, and it is incomplete again. That'll be a turnover on downs. The North Valley Knights will take over from their own 18.
Stork was trying to find Colton Smith in the front corner of the end zone there. He had a little bit of pressure. I think he threw the ball a little bit sooner than he wanted to. And they weren't able to convert on the 4th down. That's the first time we've seen Henley not score, I believe, on a drive.
That is correct, yeah. Last handful of drives, the last 1, 2, 3, 4 drives. Henley has converted points. Put it in for 6 this time. No good on the 4th down conversion attempt. Puts him at 1 for 2 on the evening. So the Knights take over, 1st and 10 from their own 18 with 2:47 to go in the first half. This one, a handoff, sort of a misdirection that maybe gets 1 yard on the play. Carrying that one, I believe, was Leo Friedman once again. Gets maybe a gain of 2, 2nd down and 8.
That was a good tackle by Owen Northcutt. He had to fight through 2 or 3 blockers just to get to the ball carrier, and then he was pretty much on his own over there, and he made the tackle. Good play.
8 yards to go.
2nd down and 8 for the Knights. Their last drive was moving downfield pretty decently, ending up in the hands, though, of the Henley Hornets. The second interception that Twiddell has thrown tonight. Open for different fortunes here. It'd be great for the Knights to try to trim this lead a little bit going into halftime. Now inside 2 minutes. The Hornets lead 27-0. And a timeout is going to be called by the Knights. That is their second of this half. Both teams have one timeout remaining. So stick with us through halftime tonight. There's 1:52 left until our halftime break. We'll break down the scores for you from around the state. Of course, Mazama and Hidden Valley, we're all worried about that game. Klamath Union and Phoenix also playing this evening. We'll get you a score update from the Oregon and Cal game going on right now. And also Bonanza and Lost River playing this evening too. So busy night of football in the state of Oregon.
This is an important drive for the Knights. They called timeout. They need to string together some first downs here. Only 2 minutes to go here, but enough time for them to score. So that's definitely on their mind. They would like to cut the lead to somewhere close to 20.
I imagine that teams on offense, you practice the 2-minute drill all week, and sometimes teams tend to have success when they run their set plays in the 2-minute drill.
Sure.
So we'll see what North Valley, how comfortable they are inside of 2 minutes. 1:52 to be exact left to go in the second. They face a 2nd and 8. Twiddell takes the snap, throws it to the far sideline, and kind of splits his receivers out there, lands somewhere in the middle of some Knights at the 35-yard line. So brings up 3rd and 8.
That pass just sailed on him a little bit. He had a receiver. Benny Scott was over there with the coverage. And that brings us up to a 3rd down. Henley can think about actually, with a stop here, maybe they can score some points of their own before half.
Knights get their offensive play out onto the field. And I see in for the Knights, Jalen Jenkins, wide receiver, going to be out there wide. He's a new addition into the game, at least for this play. 2 wide receivers to the left of Twiddell. Sends a man in motion. This one's a keeper for Twiddell on the option. He's able to bounce around inside some defenders. He gets a decent gain on the play of about 5. But that will bring up 4th and short for North Valley.
Matthew McCoy from his interior line position making a good tackle, preventing the first down. And let's see what North Valley decides to do here. Late in the half. Fourth and about, 3 or 4?
Looks like they took their final time out of the game as the clock stopped with 1:40 left in the second quarter. So North Valley out of timeouts, 1:40, 4th down and 3 to go. Their offense is out there ready to go.
I think I see the punter back at the 10. So
yeah.
So maybe they'll be kicking this away.
At this point, you're in your own territory again. You're down 27-0. That's 4 scores. So if you can punt the ball far enough downfield, try to keep Henley off the scoreboard, you put yourself in decent position to come back in the second half, although the Hornets will receive to start the third quarter if you look that far ahead. Punting unit is out for the Knights. Another high snap, kicked at the 15. That ball, kind of a moonshot, fielded at the 40 by Luke Bennett. And that is where the Hornets will take over. Just past the 40 at the 41-yard line in their own territory. The Hornets taking over 1st and 10 with 1:33.
Sometimes it's a little bit tricky to know when and when not to call for a fair catch. Luke did that just right. He had an oncoming tackler just in front of him, and he made the catch and secured it so Henley could take over at the 42.
North Valley kept Henley out of the end zone on their last drive for the first time all night. Looking for similar fortunes with the Hornets. 1st and 10. Stork takes the snap, hands it off to Higgins, who tries to get outside, sheds off one defender, cuts up the far sideline, has a little bit of room, shoves someone else out of bounds on the far sideline. I believe that was Nate Love for North Valley. Tolson goes out of bounds too. It'll be 1st and 10, though, after a great gain.
Higgins with a stiff arm right at the line of scrimmage, and that was able to get him downfield with some open green in front of him, and then he wisely goes out of bounds, stops the clock. Nice run.
Gets it 1st and 10 on the other side of midfield at the 38-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Hornets. 38-yard line. Stork takes the snap, is rolling to his right, looks left, now rolling left, feels the pressure, and wisely throws it out of bounds. The intended receiver looked to be Austin Fitz, but the pass goes out of bounds.
He caught that thing.
Did he catch it?
He did. Stork it was just enough of a miracle to avoid that rush, and he actually made a nice throw, and Austin caught it just before stepping out. He picked up about 2 yards.
That is a great play. 2nd and about 8 coming up. I saw that ball. I thought go behind a couple of the helmets out there, but Austin Fitz making a nice play.
After the complete pass, Henley is looking at 2nd down with 8 yards to go.
2nd and 8. 3 receivers to the near side for Stork. That's off to his left. Stork takes the snap, looks to his left, unloads one downfield to Owen Sheen, and he catches it. Brings it home, 10-5, touchdown, Henley.
Number 10, touchdown, Henley Hornets.
Hornets being aggressive, running their own little 2-minute drill to perfect completion. Good pass by Shaw. Owen brought that one in, and the Hornets add 6 more.
35-yard completion. That's Shaw Stork's 11th passing touchdown of the year. With 1:09 left to go in the half, Owen Sheen on to kick the extra point. The kick is up, and it is no good. So the score will remain 33-0 with 1:09 left to go in the first half. That drive for the Hornets, 3 plays, lasted 24 seconds, and in for their 5th touchdown of the night. Another efficient drive for the Hornets. Maybe would have liked to take a little bit more time off the clock, but you're up this big, you'll take the points.
You'll always take the points. And I admire Henley's ability they never quit on a play. And we've seen it lots of times this season and a few times tonight, where it's not always easy when you have a quarterback who scrambles and is running all over the field like that. If you're down the field as a receiver, what do? Well, they know what to do. They run back toward the quarterback. They find a gap. They find a spot. And that was the key to that last drive. Shaw would have had a big loss. Instead, they turned it into a short gain, then made the nice throw over the top for the touchdown. So Henley's showing a lot of good qualities tonight.
Sheen just had that one step on his receiver that we've seen Austin Fitz get a couple of times. Fitz hasn't been able to find himself into the end zone yet, but these Henley Hornets receivers able to get that first step, and Stork has been able to find them more often than not tonight.
Just more of that team speed that we talked about. They are a quick group.
Kick return team out for the Knights. They're down 33-0. 1:09 left to go in the first half. Henley's defense has held tough, forced North Valley into a 3-and-out on their last possession.
Their defense has played very, very well this half. We talked about the offense and the big plays quite a bit, but the defense also looks terrific.
Kick team's out there, ready to go. The kick is up, a bit of a line drive fielded at the 15, brought up past the 20, gets to the 30 before being hit. Might have been just short of the 30, call it the 29-yard line. That is where North Valley will take over for what will likely be the final possession of the half.
Colby Scholl's first one on the scene to make the stop. Also Elijah Roloff's in there.
So with 1:04 left on the clock, North Valley, you think they try to get something moving, try to throw it downfield a couple of times?
I don't see why not. Stay aggressive. Always give your team a chance.
First and 10 for North Valley from the 29. In their own territory, Twiddell under center, puts a man in motion. This one, a handoff up the middle and a big hit at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of a couple on the play. 2nd down for the Knights.
That was Tulson Higgins, and he tackles just as hard as he runs.
Well, sometimes he tackles when he runs. We saw that stiff arm earlier. We saw him shove a player out of bounds.
he knows how to make contact for sure with the opponent.
2nd down and 8 for the Knights, and with the clock running 29 seconds now until halftime. Got a score update from just across town in Murphy, where Hidden Valley is playing Mazama. We'll share that score update with you during our halftime show. This one, a pitch coming to the near side, cutting upfield, and a decent gain for the Knights on the play. A gain of probably 5 yards, brings up 3rd down.
That was a good open field tackle by Colton Smith here on the near side. If he had missed that, there would have been a lot of room to run, but he made the stop, and that will end the half.
Yes, sir, it will. 33-0. The Henley Hornets in control throughout the first 24 minutes. We'll break down this game, and we'll give you an idea of what else is happening in the Skyline Conference coming up on the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports. The Hornets up 33-0.
John Bowers Construction and Landscape Maintenance is in urgent need of landscape team members now. Call them at 541-205-1464 to apply. They're also looking for a construction team lead and a landscape maintenance team lead. They offer extremely competitive wages, paid vacation, and so much more. Call John Bowers Construction at 541-205-1464 to apply today. Email johnbowerslandscape@hotmail.com. CCB number 188923. Equal opportunity employer.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Hi there, it's Les Schwab Tires, reminding you that changing seasons can mean changing road conditions. Introducing the brand new Backcountry AT2 for a quieter ride with improved performance in wet conditions. Because when it comes to keeping your family safe, the right tires help you feel prepared for anything. Seriously, anything. Now save up to $130 when you buy Quadtrac tires with financing. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
Tonight. For our North Valley cheerleader squad, we have Cheyenne.
And we welcome you back to the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports. My name is Josh Eldridge. I'm joined tonight by Kevin Petrick, Nick Bradford running the live stream on MyBasin.com this evening. The Henley Hornets up 33-0 at this point in the ball game. Kevin, Henley has basically controlled every aspect. They scored on their first 4 drives. They ended up turning it over on downs. They scored on the very next drive. They find themselves up 33-0. They have played very good on the offensive side of the ball and pretty dang close to flawless on the defensive side.
Yeah, there's nothing to complain about if you're a Henley fan. As a coach, there's probably no better feeling than drawing up a play and watch it work, and they've been doing that all night, both offensively and defensively. They see maybe a weakness, they employ a strategy, and then they come through. So just a good night of football for Henley, and we may get an opportunity to see some work on the depth chart here, maybe get some new kids in the game.
And we saw that a little bit last week, but while we still have the starters on the field, take a moment, talk about the half that Shaw Stork has had. He punched in the first 3 touchdowns on the ground for Henley this game. He's got 11 rushing touchdowns on the season after those 3. He threw a touchdown tonight. That's his 11th passing touchdown of the season. Stork, almost like a magician out there sometimes. I mean, he can have 4 nights trailing him and still find a way to cut upfield, and he bounces around out there. Once again, I use that word. He's a bouncy guy.
That's happened multiple times. He's had 2, 3, 4 defenders chasing him, and he's just too quick. But there's more to being a good quarterback than that. So once you outrun your defenders, then what do? Well, he has the wherewithal and the patience to look downfield, make good throws. Henley hasn't turned the ball over tonight, so playing just about as clean a game as you can, and of course having Stork at the helm definitely helps.
Taking a look at some of the other numbers tonight for the Henley Hornets. So far for them, 7 first downs. Compare that to 3 to North Valley. As we take a look at third down conversions, Henley's only faced 1 third down this evening. They are 0 for 1 on third down conversions. 1 for 2 on third down conversions and 1 for 2 on fourth down conversions as well. That one Shaw Stork touchdown in the first quarter coming off of a fourth down conversion. Compare that to North Valley. They are 1 for 6 on third down and 1 for 2 on fourth down. So Henley not getting too deep into their downs. They're able to move the ball effectively on first and second down. That's what you love to see. And on the other side, they're keeping North Valley fairly well behind the sticks, much like what happened when the Knights played Mazama last week. And the defense able to, I guess they're seeing what they like out there.
Yeah, obviously Coach Stork and the staff, they're watching video, they're watching the games, and they probably saw something last week against Mazama that they could use to their favor. And North Valley's been struggling a little bit offensively, and Henley took advantage of that to the fullest tonight. Not allowing a point, that's terrific for all half.
Well, right now, the Henley Hornets up 33-0 over the North Valley Knights, and this game does mean something when it comes to playoff talk. So we'll talk about the OSAA state playoffs. We'll talk about the other games going on in the Skyline Conference this evening. All of that is coming up as we continue the halftime show on the MyBasin.com game on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been away forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice, I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
On Top Tree Services have one of the highest buckets in town. No job too small, no tree too tall. Operating since 2017, this crew's ready for your land clearing, tree removal, tree trimming, stump grinding, and fire prevention. On Top Tree Services offers same-day estimates. I can't mention this enough. If a tree falls on your house or vehicle, they offer a 24/7 emergency tree or limb removal. Give them a call today at 541-882-8707. On Top Tree Services, fast, easy, and reliable. CCB 216014.
Welcome back to the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports. If you're watching on the video stream, MyBasin.com, the North Valley cheerleaders putting on a little bit of a show for us this evening at halftime, and lots of other football going on around the area. The Skyline Conference, Kevin, we talked about a little bit before the game, but this game means a lot in terms of the playoff picture. A pair of 1-1 teams. There's, I think, 4 teams that have a real shot at making the playoffs in the Skyline Conference, but there's only 3 spots. We've got 2 of these teams playing tonight, North Valley and Henley, and then across town in Murphy, which is just south of Grants Pass, we've got Hidden Valley and Mazama playing tonight. We've got a score update on that, but this game important in terms of the playoffs, and so far Henley's handled business.
Yeah, Henley put themselves in a nice place as far as the playoff run is concerned. With 3 games left, counting this one, for the most part, if Henley can win 2 of those 3, they will secure a playoff spot, and that's what you want to do. You want to keep your season going. So Henley has put themselves in a nice position, and especially leading 33-0 here at halftime, they're in a nice position to win this game, and then try to see which playoff seed they could get. Maybe get a home game. That's what you want to do. So lots of motivation late in the season. That's what's fun when you win games and you can string along some wins, is that your games at the end mean something. And Henley will definitely be in that situation the next 2 weeks.
We take a look at this Skyline Conference right now. The top 2 teams in the conference, Hidden Valley and Mazama, both squads 2-0. And Henley, North Valley 1-1, Klamath Union and Phoenix 0-2. Those are the kind of 3 pairs of teams that are playing this evening. Some other games going on in the Basin. Last we heard, Bonanza and Lost River tied at 16. Also game Cross Point Christian, Cross Point Christian playing Glendale at home this evening. And we can also get you a score update from Eugene in the second quarter. The Cal Bears lead the Oregon Ducks 7-3. There's 11:52 to go in the second. The Ducks looking to get things back on track after the loss to Stanford last week. And of course, Southern Oregon University and Oregon State University, the Beavers, both have the week off this week. So Oregon, one of the biggest shows in town, obviously they always are up in Eugene right now, trailing the Cal Bears 7-3 in the second quarter. So we talk a little bit more about the OSAA playoffs. 3 teams getting that immediate berth. There's a couple at-large bids there's only 1 at-large bid for teams. There's 15 automatic berths into the OSAA state playoffs. Skyline Conference gets 3 of them, and a pair of teams that are right in that race going at it right now. Got a score update again from across town. The Mazama Vikings lead Hidden Valley 21-0. That's the big game that we're all paying attention to. Mazama, they seem to just kind of leave ruin in their wake, really. I mean, they take good teams and they beat them, and then we see these teams go on later to beat other good teams. Mazama, I think, is really just that good. Henley played them decent a couple weeks ago, but Mazama really looks like the team to beat right now.
Well, Mazama had a special season last season, and they kind of know how to get it done, and they're carrying that over into this fall football season. So they're definitely going to be a contender down the stretch for sure.
Well, we definitely look forward to seeing that, maybe seeing how Mazama finishes the season. Right now, they're up a couple of touchdowns over the Hidden Valley Mustangs. We'll keep you updated on that score as tonight's festivities continue here in Merlin, Oregon, just north of the city of Grants Pass, the Climate City. It is pretty nice weather tonight, definitely not too chilly like it is in the Basin, and great night for football. We hope to continue it in the second half. Right now, the Henley Hornets up over the North Valley Knights 33-0. Third quarter action coming up on 104.3 and 60 Sports.
John Bowers Construction and Landscape Maintenance is in urgent need of landscape team members now. Call them at 541-205-1464 to apply. They're also looking for a construction team lead and a landscape maintenance team lead. They offer extremely competitive wages, paid vacation, and so much more. Call John Bowers Construction at 541-205-1464 to apply today. Email johnbowerslandscape@hotmail.com. CCB number 188923. Equal Opportunity Employer.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and little league teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Hi there, it's Les Schwab Tires, reminding you that changing seasons can mean changing road conditions. Introducing the brand new Backcountry AT2 for a quieter ride with improved performance in wet conditions. Because when it comes to keeping your family safe, the right tires help you feel prepared for anything. Seriously, anything. Now save up to $130 when you buy Quatrac tires with financing. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
A reminder, ladies and gentlemen, now is the time to buy your 50/50 raffle tickets for the North Valley Band.
And we welcome you back to the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 960 Sports. Halftime drawn to a close here in Merlin, Oregon, as the Henley Hornets lead 33-0 over the North Valley Knights. Kevin, Henley has been in control this whole game. I would expect more of the same probably from the Hornets, hoping to keep the momentum on their side.
Yeah, I don't see any reason why they shouldn't continue. Both coaches will make some halftime adjustments, and you never know, they might catch a break or two or find something that they can take advantage of. But I think Henley just has the better team tonight. They definitely have the quicker team, and it's really helped them to score on almost every drive that they had in the first half.
Well, when we come back and get ready for the third quarter, it'll be Henley football. We'll be able to see Shaw Stork take the field. 11 rushing touchdowns on the season and 11 passing touchdowns on the season. We'll see if he's able to add to any more of those totals coming up on the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
And we're back live from Merlin, Oregon, the site of tonight's MyBasin.com Game of the Week. You've got it live on 104.3 and 960 Sports, also with HD video on MyBasin.com. Totally free for you to view, so if you could find yourself, to a smartphone or maybe your tablet or PC, whatever the case is, you can also get us on your YouTube app. We stream through YouTube, so if you've got the YouTube app on your smart TV, maybe you've got a Roku or Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, Google Chromecast, whatever you have at home, you can get the YouTube app and watch us live for free. And also any video game console you might have lying around, get the YouTube app, check us out, hit subscribe on the YouTube channel, totally free to come and follow the Hornets all season long. You'll get updates whenever we go live. Right now, the Hornets up 33-0 as we get ready for the third quarter.
Well, we have a second. We also want to mention next week's game has been moved to, to Thursday. Just one of the never the same week to week here with Henley football this year. It's been a fun season, and this team has been really fun to watch. It's really exciting. But this week's game, I believe, will be played Thursday against Klamath Union. Is that correct?
It'll be played Klamath Union on Thursday at Henley High School. That'll also be senior night for Henley. So your chance to come on out on Thursday, enjoy the Thursday night lights in that case, and it'll be senior night for Henley. That's next week against Klamath Union, and then Henley will wrap up the season against Hidden Valley back over here, over the hill in the Climate City in Grants Pass. Should be a nice night towards the end of October.
We don't mind Thursday games. We played one last week, and it turned out pretty well.
Right now, Henley's undefeated on Thursday night games,
Sure.
so hopefully to continue that trend next week.
Sure.
1-0 still undefeated, right?
That's right.
Henley is going to start with the ball here in the third quarter. The Hornets in their road white uniforms, navy blue helmets with the yellow H on the side with the white tops and navy lettering with a navy stripe down the side of their pants. The kickoff is up, fielded by Colton Smith at about the 10-yard line, brings it up to the 15, now trying to bounce out to the far sideline, and is wrestled out of bounds right around the 25-yard line. Might have gone a little bit past it. North Valley player is down, but seems to be coming off the field. And the Henley Hornets will start with possession of the football just before the 30, call it the 27, with 11:49 to go in the third quarter.
That kick was a little deeper than I think Colton expected, and he ended up having to make a nice over-the-shoulder catch. So he made a nice play just to catch the football. Then he ran it back about 15 yards. And Henley will start just this side of the 25.
So they're going to call it the 26-yard line. Shaw Stork leads his offense back out onto the field. 3 rushing touchdowns tonight for him, and also 1 passing touchdown. And before we get a playoff, North Valley going to take their first time out of the half. I'm sure a little earlier than Coach Neil DeForest would like to take it.
Well, they had an injured player on that kickoff, and he had to come off of the field, and they had some trouble with personnel, I think, trying to replace him. So that's what they're doing. They're trying to get the right 11 out there to start the half.
Well, Henley, and talk a little bit more about Shaw Stork. The one other touchdown that does not have Stork's name attached to it, arguably the biggest play of the night, Tolson Higgins taking it 69 yards on the first play of the drive in the second quarter, and Tolson Higgins has broken loose for a couple big games tonight too. It's been a successful night on the ground for Henley. They've had a couple big passes through the air, but both teams have had some success through the air too. That's been North Valley's, I would say, strongest point on offense thus far.
Yeah, don't sleep on Henley's running game. They have 2, 3, 4 quality running backs, and Tolson gets a majority of the carries, but Garrett Northcutt will come in. They have some good backs.
So teams out there ready to go. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 26. The Hornets driving north from right to left as we look east tonight at North Valley High School. Shaw Stork takes the snap, a bit of a misdirection handoff to Tolson Higgins. He takes a shot in the backfield, stays on his feet. He's wrapped up and brought down for a loss. 2nd and 13. 2nd and 14 coming up for the Hornets.
We talked about adjustments, and North Valley made a nice one there. They had a couple of players in the backfield, and Higgins had nowhere to go.
Owen Sheen set up to the near side. 3 wide receivers to the right of Stork and his running back, Tolson Higgins. Second and they're calling it 15. Yard to gain is the 36. Stork takes the snap. He's going to hand it off to Higgins, who finds himself some room. He's up past the 30, now the 40. Crosses midfield past the 40. 35-30, 25-20, 15-10, 5. Touchdown, Tolson Higgins.
Another huge play for the Hornets. And as we've been talking about all season, the downfield blocking for Henley has been exceptional. And that time, Owen Smith threw a block. Owen Sheen threw a block, Colton Smith threw a block, and Austin Fitz all threw blocks downfield to enable Tolson to score a touchdown.
Call it 79 yards on the rush for Tolson, and he didn't take too kindly to going backwards on that first play, so he decided, you know what, I'm going to take it 79 yards downfield, punch it in for 6. Right now the Hornets up 39-0. The extra point is good. Henley up 40-0. 10.5 to go in the third quarter. Henley leads. You've got the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
Hi there, it's Les Schwab Tires, reminding you that changing seasons can mean changing road conditions. Introducing the brand new Backcountry AT2 for a quieter ride with improved performance in wet conditions. Because when it comes to keeping your family safe, the right tires help you feel prepared for anything. Seriously, anything. Now save up to $130 when you buy Quadtrac tires with financing. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
The 21 or so? I think so, yeah. Welcome back to the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports. Henley didn't take long at all to strike in the second half. It took him 2 plays, one of them being a 79-yard touchdown run from Tolson Higgins. That's his second of the night. His first one almost from equal distance, 69 yards in the first half, 79 here in the second. Tolson Higgins having himself a ball game too.
Another long run for Higgins, and just as we mentioned earlier in the night, Henley just will not give up on a play till it's through, and you don't see downfield blocking done that well in a lot of high school teams, and Henley can really be proud of the way that they block the play till the whistle blows.
Yeah, I may be a little bit biased, right? We've seen Henley all season long, but they've got some of the best blocking wide receivers I think that we've seen.
They do.
The kick is up for North Valley, fielded at about the 17-yard line, brought up past the 25, mark them down at the 27. That is where the Knights will start this drive with 10:42 to go in the third quarter. They take it from the 27-yard line, and with that last score putting Henley up 40-0, there is a running clock here at North Valley High School tonight. The rule is 35 points up, and obviously Henley clearing that bar right now at 40. So North Valley looking to put some points up on the board here in the third quarter. 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line. Twiddell sending a man in motion. This one a handoff up the middle, fighting forward for a gain of about 4 yards was Love on the play. Second down coming up for the Knights.
Higgins and McCoy on the stop. Matthew with a few tackles tonight. We've called his name.
Henley's defense, that run up the middle, they haven't really let it break big. A few yards. They've sent it backwards a couple of times. The linebackers have been reading that play quite well this evening.
North Valley's looking at
2nd and 6 for the Knights. One wide receiver to the near side is Twiddell, and his Knights drive south from left to right. Twiddell takes a quick snap, dumps it off near side to Champion. And a solid gain on the play of about 9 yards. Good enough for a Knights first down. Champion, his first reception of the night.
It's a nice play. We've seen North Valley with a few chances to convert on the pass, and they did a nice job with the pass and catch right there. Colton Smith with a tackle.
Like you said, that quick pass, Twiddell taking the snap and quickly letting go of it. And he still felt pressure there pretty quick, so the front 4 guys for Henley doing a good job of applying pressure. 1st and 10 for the Knights from their own 41. Twiddell takes the snap. This one, another sweep. Tries to cut up the middle, and a gain of maybe 1 on the play for the Knights brings up second down.
I think that was Colby Scholes who just stood up the ball carrier and didn't let him advance at all. Good tackle.
So it'll bring up second down and about 8. First down marker on the other side of midfield at the 47. Second down and 8. Twiddell under center once more. He sends Champion out left. 2 backs there with him. And Twiddell takes a snap. This one, a handoff to the near side. And a gain of about 3 yards on the play, but stuffed again. As carrying that one for the Knights was Campos. And he had himself some room, but stuffed pretty quickly after he gets past those first guys.
And that was Colby Scholes again. Tyler Harper going over and giving him a little pat on the shoulder pad. Telling his teammate, nice work. Another nice tackle. 3rd and about 5 here.
So far in the first half, the North Valley Knights 1 for 6. 3rd down and 5 for North Valley. Twiddell under center once more. Sends a man in motion. Twiddell, this time a pitch, goes outside to Teal. He doesn't find any room. In fact, only about 1 yard on the play. Brings up 4th and 4.
That was Connor Sieben, I believe. That was Connor. That was a nice stop. Picked up just a couple. And we have a 4th down conversion coming up.
6:43 to go in the 3rd quarter. And again, there is a running clock here in Merlin tonight as the Henley Hornets up 40-0. And on 4th down, the Knights figure they got to go for it. It's 4th and short, about 4 yards to gain. And at about midfield, Twiddell drops back to pass. Fires a pass to Champion, and he falls on it, completes the pass, and a gain of about 6 yards. Good enough for a North Valley first down. Champion, a couple of nice receptions for him and a couple of first downs.
That play has started to work for them. They're realizing that the defensive backs for Henley may be playing a little far off the line, 5 or 6 yards. So that quarterback can just take 1 step, throw it out there, and then get a nice little gain. You won't get a long touchdown play out of that, but you can get 5, 6, 10 yards and move down the field.
Those are plays that you'll definitely take if you're Coach Neil DeForest.
Yeah.
1st and 10 from the 45. The Knights now driving downfield. Sending a man in motion. Twiddell drops back. A pitch to Teal again on the far side. He cuts upfield and gets hit after a gain of about 2 yards, maybe 3. Brings up second down.
Owen Sheen came up to make the stop on that one. And those pitches look like they're going to work when they first get the ball around the end, but then Henley's pursuit and their ability to close on the football is so good and so quick that you only end up with a 2 or 3 yard gain.
When they close off the outside, they don't let you get to the sideline. They make you cut up field, and by that point, you're facing a swarm of Hornets. 2nd and 7 as Twiddell hands it off inside once more. A gain of 1 on the play for the Knights. That'll bring up 3rd and about 6, maybe a long 5.
Owen Northcutt and Tulsa Higgins on the tackle.
And with this play coming up, it'll be the 9th play of the drive, the longest drive of the game for either team. Henley had an 8-play drive in that 2nd quarter. That was a drive in which they did not score. But with this play, North Valley with the longest drive of the night. Twiddell under center, a couple of backs in the backfield. Twiddell hands it off once again, jumping over one player before landing down just 1 yard short of the sticks. I believe that was Leo Friedman on the carry again, the sophomore, making a bit of an acrobatic play, but just short. Brings up 4th and 1.
North Valley changed some things up at halftime, and it's proven to be successful as they've moved the ball down the field, and they'll try to convert this 4th down.
4th down for North Valley.
4th down and 1.
Sam Campos brought the run.
So far tonight on 4th down, the Knights
4th down.
2 for 3. And a 4th and 1 to go here. Twiddell under center. Line of scrimmage is stacked up, and now's a false start by North Valley. This will bring him back. And jumping that one was Gabriel Champion. Moved just a little bit early.
That was almost a good thing for the Knights, as that snap kind of went wildly into the backfield. So at least this way they will get a second chance. It'll be from a little further back, but they'll get another shot at it.
4th and 6 coming up for the Knights. And again, it will change that play call. 3 minutes and counting in the third quarter.
Flag on the play brings 4th down, 6 yards to go.
Twiddell drops back to pass, rolling to his left, fires this one over the middle, and it is incomplete. That was a play that just got him past the sticks. It bounced in the turf before Huff could rein it in. And that'll be a turnover on downs. The Henley Hornets going to take over possession in their own territory at about the 40-yard line.
And once again, on those 3rd and 4th down conversions for the Henley defense, they applied just enough pressure to force Twiddell to maybe throw a pass he doesn't want to throw. And that time it was Austin Fitz back there causing trouble. And Henley will get the ball back.
Twiddell had a decent look too, but good play by the Henley defense as that again brings out the Henley offense. 1st and 10 from their own 40-yard line. Shaw Stork putting a man in motion. That's Colton Smith. Stork takes the snap, takes it himself, and runs into a group of Knights at the line of scrimmage, falls forward for a gain of about 2. At this point, if I'm Coach Stork, I'm telling Shaw, maybe don't run into a group of guys with 1:44 to go in the third quarter, a game where you're up 40-0. Want to maybe keep them on the outside. Don't want anything unfortunate to happen. I always just get worried when that kind of thing happens.
We probably won't see this group for too much longer.
1:30 and counting in the third quarter. 2nd and about 8 to go. Man in motion again is Bennett, and a flag is thrown.
Flag on the field.
We'll see what the call is. False start against the Hornets. This one coming backwards. It'll be 2nd and just a bit longer. Call it 2nd and about 13.
They tried to run a little sweep that time with Colby Scholes coming in motion from the far side of the field. Now they'll do it from a little further back. 2nd and we'll call it 13.
2nd down, 13 yards to go.
2 receivers to the near side for Stork. One off to his his right side. Stork takes the snap, hands it off to Tolson Higgins, who sheds one defender, able to fight his way upfield for a gain of 1 on the play. 3rd down and 11 coming up for Henley.
The Knights doing a good job bottling up some of these interior runs for the Hornets. They weren't that successful doing that in the first half, but here in the second, they've made some nice efforts, and that'll bring up a 3rd and long.
3rd and about 12 to go for Henley. So far tonight, the Hornets on 3rd down, just 1 for 2.
3rd down for Henley, 12 yards to go.
Stork takes the snap, drops back. As a matter of fact, that's Tyler Harper into the game. He tries to throw it over the middle. Pass is incomplete. Intended, I believe that was Benny Scott, the intended receiver there. But Tyler Harper has checked into the game, and that will bring us to the end of the third quarter. Fourth quarter action coming up next. The Henley Hornets up 40-0 over the North Valley Knights on the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been away forever. Wondering if you're coming I just saw your face. I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
And we welcome you back to the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports. Game got started a little bit before we could come back to you live from North Valley High School. Henley ended up punting on that 4th down, and it'll be North Valley Knights football from about the 35-yard line in their own territory. That's where the Knights will take over to start their first possession of the 4th quarter, a game in which they trail the Hornets 40-0.
I think we're seeing a lot of personnel changes now for the Hornets, some mass substitutions. So we'll see if the second unit can get the job done here defensively.
Twiddell under center, putting a man in motion. This one, a handoff up the middle, goes nowhere. 2nd and 10.
Chase Backus making a nice stop in there, among others.
2nd and 10 coming up for the Knights. Their last drive was the longest for any team this game, 9 plays. Unfortunately, turning it over on downs. 2nd and 10 for North Valley from their own 35. This one, a handoff to the outside. Taking that one was Friedman. He falls forward for a gain of 1 on the play, 3rd down and 9.
Justin Elbert made a nice play to make that tackle for a short gain.
3rd and about 8 coming up for the Knights. And we'll see if they decide to dial up the pass or keep it on the ground. During that 9-play drive, they only passed the ball 1 time.
3rd down for North Valley, 7 yards to go.
3rd down and 7. The official measurement is Twiddell under center, takes the snap. This one, play action pass. He's rolling to his left, fires it near side. The pass is dropped at the 50-yard line. Would have been good for a 1st down, but unfortunately, Matt Sharpen dropping that pass.
That was a tough break. They've had a few of those tonight. The play is there, and they just can't connect on the receiving end. And the Knights will face another 4th down.
That's the thing with North Valley. They've gotten wide receivers in space a couple times tonight. I can think of at least 4 occasions in which the ball will hit a receiver's hand. Could have gone for decent yardage, but just was not to be. The Knights, just a couple of unlucky breaks tonight, and that gets them down on the scoreboard. Henley's played a good game, don't get us wrong. It's not like it's been luck to get Henley to 40-0, but there has been a couple of breaks that have knocked on the Knights' way. 4th and 8. Twiddell drops back to pass. Ranging to his right, and a throw over the middle, incomplete once again. Turnover on downs. The Hornets will take over at their own 37.
Nice work by the second unit. When you come in there as a bench player, that's what you want to do. You want to try to continue where the first string left off, and you know that's not easy to do. You've got a lot of inexperience and a lot of younger players out there, so that's good for the Henley defense right there with a big stop.
1st and 10. Is Tyler Harper on the field now for the Hornets. Colton Smith still out there. Owen Sheen. See him and Colby Scholes. So a couple of familiar faces, and also checking into the game for the Hornets is Kyle Erickson on the offensive line. 1st and 10. This is a handoff up the middle. A great gain and spin. Still going. And a gain of about 15 on the play. Carrying that one, Colby Brennan.
We talked about how deep Henley is at running back, and they're showing it right there. Colby Brennan can run the football, and he would not go down. Good effort.
First and 10 for the Hornets from the 19-yard line. Harper gets the snap. Another handoff to Brennan. Brennan hits a brick wall at the line of scrimmage, and it'll bring up second down.
Defensive line for the Knights doing a little bit better right there. Brennan couldn't find any room. Second down.
Elijah Roloff's checking into the game on the offensive line. Also out there, Hagen Greer on the offensive line. Second and 10. This one, another handoff to Brennan. He cuts to the near sideline before getting upfield. A gain of 8 on the play, brought down before reaching the 10. Call it the 13-yard line. And maybe a gain of 7 brings up third down.
Now we'll see if this second unit can score. They're inside the red zone. Let's see if they can finish off the drive.
Third down and 4. Clock still running at North Valley High School. The Hornets up by 40. It's 40-0 with 6 minutes even left to go in the fourth quarter. Tyler Harper gets the snap. It's a low snap. Another handoff to Brennan, who gets wrapped up and brought down before reaching the 6. That low snap held him up by just a half second. Enough for the Knights to get there in time, stopping him from reaching the first down.
We'll see what Coach Paschke calls here on fourth down.
Offense staying out there for the Hornets. It's fourth down and about 3 to go. The yard to gain is the 10. Harper drops back to pass, throws in a little floater, and it is caught by Austin Fitz. Now the question is, was it in front of the first down marker? It looks like he might have been.
I think he made it. I thought he ran a nice route. He ran just far enough past the sticks and then came back to receive the ball. I thought he made it.
I think he made it too. I think the question was, did he come back across the sticks before he caught it? He definitely went downfield enough, but they are giving it to him. It'll be first and goal for the Hornets.
Just enough for a first. Good pass completion for Tyler Harper.
First and goal from the 9. Harper takes the snap, drops back to pass, looks towards the end zone. The pass incomplete. And it'll bring up second and goal from the 9.
He was looking to get the ball to Colby Scholes right in the middle of the field. He kind of ran the seam, did a little hook, little button hook right near the goal line, and didn't quite make the grab. Second down.
2 receivers to the near side for Harper. 2 to the far side as well. Harper drops back to pass, tries to throw it over the middle again, and the Knights intercept it. It's picked off at the 7, and the Knights get the ball back. Tyler Harper, his first interception of the season, and the Knights offense takes control.
Knights not giving up right there. Henley was making a move, moving the ball down the field. Nice defense come through with a turnover. About 3.5 left to play.
And some defensive substitutions out there for the Hornets, and trying to get you a couple of the guys that we see out there. I see Colt Earls. And we'll get you the rest after this. North Valley first and 10 from the 7. The play goes for about 2, and that'll bring up second down for the Knights.
Owen Northcutt was still out there. He made the tackle. Now he comes off the field. First unit playing very, very well tonight for the Henley defense.
Colby Brennan out there. Also Chase Backus on the defensive side of the ball for the Hornets.
Got Chris Janney at safety, I see.
2.5 to go in the final period. The Henley Hornets lead 40-0. This one a handoff up the middle. Some room to work for the Knights, but brought down after a decent gain of about 6 yards, just short of the first down marker. That'll bring up 3rd and 1. And no, they're going to move the chains. So 1st and 10 for the Knights.
First down, North Valley Knights.
Knights' 6th first down of the evening.
This Henley group almost able to stop that play before a first down was achieved. But the Knights will get 4 more downs. We're under 2 minutes to go now.
I believe I see Justin Elbert out there as well for Henley, a sophomore, 5'8", 155 pounds. 1st and 10 for the Knights. A handoff to the outside, wrapped up and brought down after a gain of 1. 2nd down coming up for North Valley.
That was Elbert in on that tackle. He's had a couple tackles here late in the game.
Jordan Millard out there as well, a junior, 5'9", 160 pounds, playing some safety. 2nd and 9 for North Valley. Now 1:05 left to go in the ball game. Stick with us during the post-game show. We'll get you score updates from around the Skyline Conference, see where Hidden Valley and Mazama are at in their contest. Last we heard from them, it was the 3rd quarter, and the Vikings led 21-7. We'll get a score update on that one coming up in just a bit on the post-game show. Another handoff up the middle. Goes for about 2. 3rd down coming up for North Valley.
Hagen Greer in there. And Elbert once again.
3rd down, pushed up to the 25.
And we might get one more play here.
North Valley Knights.
Inside 30 seconds in the 4th quarter. And like you said, one more play for the Knights.
Strong showing by the Hornets.
Without a doubt, we'll break it all down coming up in the post-game show in just a bit on 104.3 and 960 Sports. One final play for the conclusion of tonight's contest. The Knights hand it off. No, it's a play-action pass. It is a throw downfield, incomplete. It's intended for number 22. That's Hank Dumas. Falls incomplete. Final score tonight from North Valley High School, 40-0. The Henley Hornets improving to 2-1 on the Skyline Conference season. We'll break it all down for you coming up next in the post-game show on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
It's kind of what defined me as a person. I love to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been away forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice, I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
On Top Tree Services have one of the highest buckets in town. No job too small, no tree too tall. Operating since 2017, this crew's ready for your land clearing, tree removal, tree trimming, stump grinding, and fire prevention. On Top Tree Services offers same-day estimates. I can't mention this enough. If a tree falls on your house or vehicle, they offer a 24/7 emergency tree or limb removal. Give them a call today at 541-882-8707. On Top Tree Services, fast, easy, and reliable. CCB 216014.
Welcome back to the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports. A conclusion from North Valley High School tonight. The Henley Hornets taking care of business, winning this one 40-0. And Kevin, they looked pretty darn good doing it.
Yeah, we've seen a number of games this season where Henley's won by 40 points or more, and when they get that offense rolling, they're just tough to stop. And when you do try to stop maybe one facet, then they throw another one at you. So. Good complete game tonight, just what you want. Go on the road, play a meaningful game, and look good on both sides of the football.
And Kevin, they are about to turn the lights off on us here at North Valley High School, so I'll ask you one final question. What specifically did you like tonight about the Hornets' attack on offense, putting up 40 points?
Well, as we said from the beginning of the year, I like their versatility. They can do, it's great as a coach when you can see a weakness. Maybe you see a pass play will work, or you see a running scheme will work. You can implement it, and it works. And that's Henley's strength. Outside of their speed, is just their ability to run and throw.
Well, they get the 40-0 win over North Valley tonight. The Henley Hornets improving to 2-1 in Skyline Conference play. They are now tied for second place in the Skyline Conference. We do have a final from across town as the Mazama Vikings, Kevin, they beat Hidden Valley 42-7. The Mazama Vikings remain the team to beat in the Skyline Conference.
Mazama is showing their strength, and the first thing I think about when I hear that score is in a couple weeks, the Henley and Hidden Valley matchup could be a good one.
I definitely think it will be. Just taking a brief look at the Skyline Conference as, again, Henley tied for second place. Mazama moves to 3-0 in the conference. Hidden Valley and Henley tied at 2-1 apiece. North Valley falling to 1-2 in Skyline Conference play. Unfortunately, don't know the conclusion of the game back home. Klamath Union playing Phoenix. We'll get that update for you on mybasin.com later on this evening, so be sure you check it out. Again, mybasin.com. That's also where you'll be able to find the archived replay of this event tonight, as this about does it for us this evening. Check us out on mybasin.com. It's your home for everything going on in the Klamath Basin, from news to sports to special events and everything else in between. Check us out online, mybasin.com. Final score tonight from Merlin, Oregon. The North Valley Knights falling to the Henley Hornets 40-0. Would like to thank the North Valley Athletic Director, Tim Sam, for getting us set up with the broadcast accommodations tonight. Also, North Valley head coach Neil DeForest for working with the broadcast crew this evening. Would also like to thank Henley head football coach Alex Stork, always being gracious with us, and their athletic director, Jesse Hamilton. For Kevin Petrick and Nick Bradford tonight, I am Josh Eldridge. Good night from Merlin, Oregon.